I'm 13 Disciple, and this is Coach's Corner. Welcome back, everybody. Today we're watching RvnHawk in his T71 DA on Redshire, one of the maps that I really enjoy playing. Alright, so let's get down into the team lineup. Okay, on the red side, we see we've got 2 artillery to contend with. So at least we'll have 2 we'll be spotting for, so there's that. We do have some pretty spooky mediums. This Pantera especially is kind of scary. There's a lot of tank destroyers, and we are opposed by an LTG and 1357. Okay, so let's take a look at the mini-map. One thing I do want to point out really quick, we are set up for passive spotting, so that might modify the way that we would normally play this map. Okay, so from my perspective, one of the things that I like to do the most is get into this dip and then spot these heavy crossings right here. Typically, you'll have tank destroyers and medium tanks on this ridge, and they'll be looking for damage anywhere in this area, okay? A lot of heavy tanks like to come through here, and you can get shots in between these hills, sometimes down in here, and then basically this is the big damage spot, is right in this area. If you can get any of their heavies to take early damage moving into this position, that gives your allies that come up here that much more damage advantage. If you stay dark and don't take damage for this, and your allies get damage for it, that's a really good play and an excellent trade. However, we're set up for passive spotting. We've got a camo net, we've got binocs. That may not be the most ideal situation. One of the other areas that I would consider going is up in this area. There's a lot of really good bushes in this ridgeline right here. I would maybe poke up just far enough for my turret to peek over the ridge, but make sure that the most of my tank is hidden, and sit there and set up for passive spotting so that I can spot tanks headed this direction. Spotting over here is a little less useful. Sometimes you'll have allies poked up on this rock that'll be able to get last second shots into this crossing here. But otherwise, the only information that you're really providing your tank here is how many tanks are committed on the 1-2 line. Whereas, at least if you're spotting this area over here, not only will you get a rough idea of the number of tanks headed this way, you could also get a hit point advantage on those vehicles headed that direction. Now, from the red side, we have to be really careful when playing this area here, because a lot of times they like to go in bushes here, or they like to go in bushes near these rocks up in here. These are good passive spotting bushes from the opposing side. The good news is if you spot any tanks in here, not only do you have an autoloader and you're ready to take them down, you should theoretically have quite a bit of support coming from your side of the hill that can definitely eliminate those eyes from the game early on. So this is normally where I would go, and this would be kind of like my second option of where I would go. All right, let's get it rolling. If any of you are interested in having your replay featured on Coach's Corner, in the description will be a link to my Discord. On my Discord, there's a channel called #Coach's Corner. In that channel are some good rough guidelines on how to submit your replay and the kinds of replays that I'm looking for. Okay, so I see us going towards the blimp. My guess is you'll probably post up on that ridgeline, which is a popular tank destroyer area. Knock over some stuff on the way. So unfortunately, even if you did do the spotting run that I normally do, you've only got a Super Hellcat and maybe a Lorraine. The Lorraine's kind of in a weird spot. That could have helped you in that area. I see the Hellcat's up, you're looking to get early damage. This is a very tank destroyer-y spot that you're picking up, which isn't a horrible choice, but you won't have the accuracy or penetration to really take good advantage up here. But again, there's no tank destroyers on our team that is posting up here anyways. Super Hellcat is getting hit by the 1357. He takes some artillery fire, and he is gone early from the game. We caught a J Panther out in the open. We'll get a couple shots in here. Surprised that penned, if I'm honest. That either missed or was probably deflected. I'd be considering a reload right now. There's not a whole lot of targets of opportunity. Oh, now I wouldn't. The 1357 is about to get dove on, and we need to try and support him as much as we can. That one went a little low. That one hit. And now we're in the bushes. It's going to be hard to get a good shot in here. We're waving around. That's all right. Try to be a little more smooth with your mouse movement, because the sharper your mouse movement is, the more dispersion you'll end up with your final shots. I see we're on reload. We got an IS-22, T29, KV-3 coming in. We lost our ally over there. We have an LTG. We missed that one. Aim up. We missed that one. Take another one. Ah! What are you doing? Blind fire! He's a one-shot for you. Okay. So in this situation, I definitely would have spent the rest of my magazine trying to get this kill here. Because if I can get a kill for no return damage, that would be an incredible advantage for my team. You had the outline of his tank. I would have aimed maybe a little bit lower because it looked like he was headed down this direction, and then I would have taken my next shot to the right, and then my next shot maybe a little bit higher to the right, just trying to nail wherever he went after he was last spotted. So that was a miss that we definitely could have had an advantage on. See, we're kind of poking up this ridge. This is really not a good plan. The reason is because if there's a heavy tank right here, he will spot you, and as soon as you are lit, you're exposed to everything on the other side of this map, right? I mean, you're exposed to these tank destroyers, anything that could be in here, the lights that were in the middle over here. Everything will have shots on you when making this play here. The alternative is to do what your Lorraine is doing, come down in here and up the waterway. At least if you're up the waterway, you only have to 1v1 whatever's in this area. And for the most part, except for where the light tanks are down here, they might have shots on you. But most of the tank destroyers up here will be blocked by this ridgeline right here. Trying to get shots on the IS-22. I understand the play, but you're exposed. You got really lucky with that miss there. Crazy lucky. And now you're still spotted. Yeah, so you took an extra shot of damage that you probably didn't need to take. I'm guessing from the LTG. Because, you know, it says LTG. You have a KV-3 chasing your Lorraine. You could definitely kill him. Absolutely, I'd be going for that kill right now. Okay, so it looks like you're just taking a little bit more of a roundabout way. Your Lorraine is safe, so it's not a horrible idea. You can definitely double bush here, which we're not. You're probably spotted. We missed that one. You can get this kill. That's the back of his tank. Okay, you're going for a tracking shot. So you're trying to get him to stuck, which is fine. You can pen the side of his turret. You could have penned the rear of his tank. You definitely didn't need to give that kill to somebody else. You could have taken that. There's a super Hellcat in the middle I'd be looking for shots at right now while we're on reload. You've definitely lost the 1-2 line. So let me zoom in here and let's talk about the way this battle has unfolded and the next plays that should be happening. This guy's toast. He's gonna die really fast, okay? So that leaves your team with this kind of map control, okay? And there's definite ways to push the map control further. This VK will probably die pretty fast. Hopefully he lasts a little bit longer, but I wouldn't hold it. The Super Hellcat will probably maybe get a little bit of shots while the VK dies. This Super Hellcat will either die, he might fall back into these buildings here, he might fall back towards Cap, or he might fall back to these buildings here. It's up in the air. But you guys have trounced the heavy side. You still have a tank destroyer back here. You have your Lorraine, and then your Leo and you. So the next thing that happens is once this guy dies, these guys all push through and kind of post up on this area, right? So they usually sit in this ridge line here. Sometimes they'll push through here, sometimes they push through here, or they'll come up anywhere over this ridge line this way. So what you need to do at this point is to set up for that. You can try and come up here and get the finishing shot, but I don't know if that's going to be useful for you. It's going to be a little bit of a waste of time. What I would be looking at doing is coming up into some of these bushes, any of the bushes on this line here, and going passive spotting in them, to try and get my view range out here so that as these bigger tanks come up to this ridgeline, I can be their eyes and I'll be able to spot them. If you want to go for a more active role, you can go up over this hill and then up onto this ridge here. So if you sit in the inside of this ridge, you'll be exposed to everything down here. However, the flip side of that is you'll be spotting them for all of your tanks that'll be on this ridge. So the next play is to definitely get eyes off of this ridge and then take this area after you have spotted or eliminated the tank destroyers on the other side. Okay, let's keep watching. Yep, looks like we're going to try and finish the IS-2 too. He's kind of tucked in there. Okay, well, he died. That's the important thing. We're spotted, so we're definitely exposed to the tank destroyers on the opposing ridge. So we want to stay low. This is good. Stay low behind the ridges. Excellent. We're driving in. Your Lorraine is going hard. He's going to be looking for spots. He spotted the JP. You can use these trees to try and bush snipe him, or we can get a little bit closer than comfortable. Good tracking shot there. Nice kill. Now the Super Hellcat might be exposed for you. LTG, definitely be going for the LTG right now. So the LTG provides their team. So what he's going to try and do is come up to this ridge here and provide spotting in this area for these guys. The good thing is that they are not on this ridge able to take advantage of it. He's a one-shot. He's totally ready to be taken advantage of, and he's a little overextended. I would definitely be looking for the kill on the LTG right now. The Hellcat's on the other side of the ridge, so he's definitely not going to be able to help. And the Hellcat just died. He's definitely not going to be able to help him. Your VK is still alive. Yeah, it's time to make pressure on the LTG. Take him out of the game, and then take all the map control that you can. Good idea not to reload here. 1357's way deep. We missed it. You should have gone for the kill. Ramming the LTG to death caused you 100 damage you didn't need to take. But again, ramming is fun, so, you know, more power to you. Your Lorraine's going deep. I would definitely go deep right now, hunting for artillery with a reload right now. So I would definitely be reloading right now, and here's why, okay? You have all of their tanks spotted, except for artillery. And you know they are way back here. Artillery is either here or here. If artillery is at Alpha 3, the Lorraine's going to beat you there. If artillery is at Alpha 1, you might be able to get shots on them before the Lorraine does, especially if he's held up by someone else over here. You have plenty of time. It's a 20-second reload. You have plenty of time to get all of your shells reloaded before you could possibly see another tank. Cap isn't a terrible idea, but it's such a one-sided match at this point, you don't need the cap pressure to win the game. You might as well try and sacrifice the rest of your hit points to get a little more damage, because the Lorraine's going to hoover up all of those artillery hit points right now, whereas you definitely could have. Their artillery definitely moved. Okay, the 4043 was way in the corner. You could have been reloaded and in his face already right now. He's done. You could be getting side shots on the SU-122-44. You could be hunting down the Pantera right now. You could have gotten the kill on the M4043 if you had gone in there instead of sitting on cap. So like, I'm not saying that this is a bad play. It's a good play. Getting pressure on cap forces the enemy team to make choices. What I'm saying right now is that you didn't need to, because they were going to lose anyways. You have such an overwhelming advantage before you even got on cap that it was almost pointless to get on cap to begin with. You got a little bit of experience for it, but once you drove off, you lost the experience. So it is what it is. I definitely would have spent the rest of my hit points trying to get a little bit more damage. You're mobile enough that you could chase it down. You definitely could have ended with another 400 or 500 damage on this match. But otherwise, it was actually a pretty clean replay. You did pretty well. So thank you so much for sending this in. We'll see you on the next Coach's Corner.